Even though some of these equations we can probably look at them and determine the solutions, we want to develop some skills that we can use to solve equations so when they get more complicated we have good habits. So when we see an equation like this, we want an equivalent equation where we have x equals some number. So we don't want this minus 8 on the left side of the equation with the 8. The way we undo this minus 8 is perform the opposite operation, which would be to add 8 on both sides of the equation. So if we add 8 on both sides of the equation, remember this maintains equality, but on the left side we have minus 8 plus 8, that would be 0, so we're left with x on the left side of the equation, and we're left with 15 plus 8, which is equal to 23 on the right side. So our solution is x equals 23. So we solve this equation by adding 8 to both sides of the equation. On number 2, we have y plus 23 equals 41. And again, our goal is to have y on one side of the equation by itself or isolated. So we don't want this plus 23 here on the left side, so we can undo this plus 23 by performing the opposite operation or by subtracting 23 on both sides of the equation. So on the left side, plus 23 minus 23, that would be 0. So we have y on the left by itself equals 41 minus 23. 11 minus 3, that's 8. And 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So y equals 18 is the solution to our equation. Now let's go ahead and try 2 more examples. And notice on these examples, the variables are on the right side of the equation. It doesn't matter which side of the equation the variable is on, as long as we isolate the variable, we will be solving the equation. So for this equation on the right side, we'd like to have x by itself or isolated and have some number on the left side of the equation. So we need to think to ourselves, we don't want this plus 9 here, so what could we do to undo plus 9? Well, we could subtract 9. We can do this as long as we do the same on the other side of the equal sign. So notice on the right side now, plus 9 minus 9, that would be 0. So we're left with x. And then on the left side we have 43 minus 9, which would be 34. So now that we've solved for x, if we want, we can rewrite this as x equals 34 instead of 34 equals x. But either way, we have solved for x. And on number 4, notice on the right side we have y minus 15. But to solve this equation, we need to have y by itself, in this case on the right side, and then some number on the left. So we don't want this minus 15 here, so we'll perform the opposite operation on both sides, which would be plus 15. So minus 15 plus 15, that would be 0. We have the y isolated on the right side this time, and 23 plus 15 would be 38. So 38 equals y is equivalent to y equals 38, which is normally how you'll see the solution written. Now you notice how I solved all of these equations vertically, meaning I added or subtracted right underneath what I was trying to eliminate. Sometimes you'll see these types of equations solved horizontally, but of course the result is